Getting this candle lit. I was sitting here thinking about how much I've been missing yoga lately. I really have. I need to get back to it. Nobody's fault but my own, child. There goes that. There goes them. Okay. Okay. We'll let them holler it out. Let them holler it out. Okay. So, my intuitive messages. The first thing I got is not the first one that I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the second one because that's where I feel led intuitively. And I say that because, as I said when I got on here, the energy today feels super intense. I feel like there's a lot of anxiety happening, a lot of uncertainty happening, a lot of chess pieces being moved. Just heavy, okay? Heavy emotions in some way. I know I'm experiencing it on my end and working through it, but it definitely felt heavier in my connection to the general consciousness, if you will. And in the midst of my connection, I felt myself feeling anxious, like, oh my gosh, I need to hurry up. I need to, like, I'm ready to just go live. I don't want to wait until 12 p.m. I was sitting here, the minutes were counting down, and I had to, like, find my balance in the midst of that space, sort of like temperance energy, right? That's the major arcana, the tarot major arcana number 14. I had to find my balance in the midst of, okay, let me be patient and maybe find the depth in these minutes that I don't want to wait. Right? Maybe there's something within that time frame that I'm supposed to grasp onto. And that is a part of the second intuitive message. It has to do with preparation and opportunity. I don't really know or remember what the saying is about preparation meets opportunity, something or other, right? um but that's essentially the gist of the message, like, and that experience that I had. I felt like I was ready to go live, I don't know how many minutes ago, but first of all, I had to sit here in meditation. I had to sit here and connect to the energy. I had to sit here and get these intuitive messages, which is the first time that we're doing it this way. And so I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't, and I had to intentionally say, okay, how else can I prepare myself while I'm waiting? And I feel like that's an important message here. And also that connects to the Three of Pentacles. So we'll go back. The first message that I got, I saw a horse when I was in my meditation. And I immediately linked it to freedom. And then, of course, I did my research. So we've got freedom, untamed power, and endurance. All right, that's the spirit animal of the horse, if you will. And so there's something to do with wanting to be free or allowing yourself to be free, your spirit in particular, especially if you're feeling heavy, feeling bogged down, or feeling uncertain about something. Or perhaps that's the answer. Perhaps freedom is the answer. Perhaps untamed power or endurance, especially when we're going through something significant and we really just want to give up and be done. Hello to everyone who said hi. All right, and then the last intuitive message I got, it was the color purple, literally the color, but then when I said it, when I heard myself say it and I say it out loud, it could also be the movie The Color Purple. But purple, it represents the crown chakra, right, which has to do with universal connection in the way that we're doing right now in this space that's been created or being created and cultivated. But also, again, in my research, purple, if we break it down, is red and blue. And red speaks to stability and security. Blue speaks to that sense of infinite wisdom, even the air energy, especially as we step into Gemini season. But bringing those two things together to have some new levels of enlightenment and wisdom in whatever situation that you're going through. All right. What we're here for. Let's see what card we pulled today. Thanks again for being here. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Sense of Self Oracle deck is available on my website. Okay. InsightfulHealing.com. Let us see. Can you guys hear that music in the background? Somebody tell me. I don't want it to be too loud or too low. Hopefully it's okay. All right, let's see. Session 21. What's the wisdom for session 21? Our live midday reflection. Oh, man. Card number 6. Also the 6th chakra, third eye chakra. We've been talking about the crown chakra, which is the 7th. It says cultivate a knowing beyond wisdom. Yeah. Yep. That kind of makes me, because I'm a super stickler for words and definitions. It makes me want to look up the definition of wisdom. But I feel like, regardless of what Webster says, the differentiation here is between, I feel like between intuition and facts, right? Things that can be proven and things that we believe, or things that we feel, things that we sense, things that we just know by way of knowing. Let's see what the booklet says. The third eye chakra, Ajna, presents itself to you today as a reminder to recognize the difference between your ego and your intuition. Is that not what I just said, y'all? Something like that. Right? But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about transcending beyond what the ego desires or what the ego believes it knows. And that's a challenging thing. But that's where that tension is coming from, We may feel like we're fighting with time, or we're fighting with technology, we're fighting with people in the world or in our environment, but really there's an inner struggle that's happening because there's an evolution that's being called in, if you will. This chakra speaks to intuition, higher perception, and mystical consciousness. Pulling this card challenges your 6th sense to know that you can see all things that are hidden in the past, the present, and in the future. Your 5th sense to feel the mysteriousness and karmic ties in the energy field. 4th sense to taste the beauty in the experience. 3rd sense to smell right through to the freedom of consciousness. And your 2nd sense to hear the Om chant associated with this chakra. And finally, the 1st sense to see through your 3rd eye with foresight and be accepting of the visions for knowledge. That's powerful stuff. I feel like all very much aligned with everything that I've said, seen, felt, and connected with for today's message, right? Even in the booklet, it talks about that freedom of consciousness, I saw a horse in my meditation, but that's just simply a metaphor, right? It's a spiritual representation, just similarly to how our intuition speaks to us through metaphors, through representations. And it's up to us to discern what to do with that information. It's up to us to choose to believe ourselves or choose to believe what society has told us or what other people have told us or what our ego has told us sometime before to protect us in a certain situation. Intuition is a funny thing because it doesn't just show up in the forehead area as it's typically depicted. A lot of times it's a gut feeling. Other times it's something we see that is not actually there, which is very different than a hallucination. If you're having those, please book a session or seek help in other ways. And occasionally it's just something that we feel deep in our bones. The third eye chakra goes even deeper than we imagine because it connects like a spider's web to our history and those around us, giving us insight that we didn't even know we were interested in. My first introduction to intuition was confusing and scary for my 4-year-old self, who became convinced that the devil himself was speaking to me. Yes, child, it's real life. And actually, chapter 5 of my book. I could not make out any words or put the puzzle pieces together, but I knew that something felt different. This immediately negative assumption was likely the result of growing up in a religious household, but luckily it was a space comfortable enough to tell my parents. My second occurrence was around the age of 7 when a stranger at the fair told me his age. Thinking back on it, I don't know why the man felt it necessary to tell me, but I clearly recall correcting him because I knew he was lying to me. I told him his exact age back to him in a matter of fact way, and I smiled as though it was normal. Meanwhile, he was adamant to know how I knew and fascinated to be caught by a child, I assume. It's these moments of inner knowing that propel us in life to make choices and interact with others. Such a fun story. It's my real life. So yeah, card number 6. I mean, we've got plenty of messages, plenty of thought bubbles through today's session. As always, I invite you guys to journal along with the session, especially the live session. But I'm gonna create some space here now and see what journal prompt may be appropriate for everything that we've received. Happy dance. Okay. So we've got allowing my divine wisdom to intercede. How can I free my spirit right now? I like it. I like it. I like it. I enjoyed today's sessions. I'm really enjoying these sessions in general. Hopefully the rest of the day feels peaceful. Hopefully you were able to gain some insight, regain some strength. And I look forward to your input. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.